Welcome, CEOs. I am Hermione Olivia, and I invite you to cherish every opportunity to connect the dots. CEO Yourself was created as a destination for motivation and to inspire you wherever you are on your journey to become the CEO of your life. Coming up on this week's episode of CEO Yourself.
I had a big kind of chip on my shoulder about feeling stupid. I never wanted to feel dumb. I never wanted to feel like I didn't know something that other people knew. And actually, since I acknowledged the fact that that is going to happen all the time, I have been asking those questions and just being okay with it's like, okay, I don't know the answer. Can someone teach me? First of all, it's helped me learn. And second of all, it's helped me be less hard on myself. So I actually just own it. And I'm like, look, I don't know everything about all this. So can you guys show me?
Estée Lalonde is the founder of self-care brand Mirror Water. She's also a groundbreaking content creator with millions of followers globally who candidly shares her life and advocates for conversations around mental health online. In today's episode of CEO Yourself, we explore her CEO superpower, Realness. Estee, welcome back to CEO Yourself.
Thank you.
I think it's really important to give the listener context as to why I'm saying welcome back, because you are so generous and incredible and amazing to be back here on set. For the listener, our sound recording for the first time ever didn't work, and we had the most incredible episode.
We did. We were vibing that day.
It was literally one of my favorite episodes.
It was fun.
And then it didn't work. I was so devastated, and so were the team. But you are so amazing to come back. Thank you for being here again.
I am delighted to be back. I was excited to come back and have a redo.
And we've changed your CEO superpower.
Yes, we have.
It's completely transformed.
New superpower alert.
For a new year.
Yes.
So how have you been since I last saw you?
So I'm good. We saw each other initially before Christmas, and that just feels like such a long time ago.
Feels like forever ago.
But everyone I talk to says, I was so burnt out last year. Like it was... Everyone across the land was exhausted in 2024. And I think all of us have a bit of an optimistic outlook on 2025.
It feels so different.
Yeah.
The energy has completely shifted for me.
Same.
I felt so overwhelmed last year. That's like the word for last year. It was particularly like the last 3 to 6 months. There was just like so much happening, and the energy everywhere else was also quite heavy. But this year just feels like light and amazing.
I totally agree. I'm excited, and I feel like, ooh, what's going to happen this year rather than last year. I was like, oh, what's going to happen this year?
What is your plan for the year? What have you got on?
Well, I want to do a lot of traveling this year because last year I had a difficult year in my personal life, and it was a heavy time for me. Right. And also I was working a lot. And this year I want to just kind of like get out into the world and live and feel free. And so yeah, not a lot of traveling, but some traveling, which I'm excited about.
I love that, the word free.
Free.
Enjoy it whilst you can.
Yeah.
Before you're locked down like me. So to give everyone an introduction to you who's listening, because we have a lot of listeners from around the world, you are one of the most successful bloggers in the world.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, I would. You have amassed millions and millions and millions of loyal followers around the world. You were one of the first, an early adopter. You now have your own brand, Mirror Water, and you have your jewelry collaboration with Daisy Jewelry, which is 6 years.
Yeah, I think it's 6 years. I've been saying 6 years, so I think
which is absolutely incredible. Like most collaborations, like they have their burst and then you never hear from them again, which I'm sorry, that's proof of your influence.
Yeah, I think the Daisy collection is really interesting because I didn't expect it to go on for a long time. And it's just been a great experience kind of working with their team and giving them my ideas and us working collaboratively. I don't think any of us thought it was going to go on this long. And actually, I keep saying, okay, well, that's the last collection. That's the last collection. I think we're actually going to do another collection. I don't know. We're talking about it.
Where do you get your inspiration from?
Oh, that's a great question. Because on the last call that I had with them, I was thinking, okay, like that's it. And I got inspired on the call and I was like, well, maybe we should do this. and so we'll see what the next one is. But I get inspired by so many things, music, people, nature. Obviously traveling is like such a major one. But I mostly get inspired when I am able to switch off. And I think it's like so interesting. It's like you can't work at being creative. Sometimes you actually have to like hold back a little bit and then an idea will just come to you.
This is what I'm always saying to my team is like, please take time off because when you come back, you perform at a higher level and you come back with all these amazing ideas.
Yeah.
And okay, well, let's use switching off as a way to pivot into Mirror Water.
Sure.
You have created a brand that is so authentically you because you talk all the time about the importance of switching off and having time for yourself, which is a big part of how I live my life. Like my bath at the end of each day is sacred. Everyone knows not to come in. I have like my magnesium salts and a candle, and it's like how I wind down from the day. Talk to us about the inspiration of creating Mirror Water, because it is quite a unique kind of product category, I think.
Yeah, it is in a way. I think what you just said, that experience in the bathtub, like I live for that. And I have always been someone that has prioritized rest. Okay. And even my brother, when I was a teenager, he's like, you're going to have to be a professional nap taker because like all you want to do is chill. And like I was like fused with the sofa as a teenager. Like I just love chilling. I take it seriously. And I mean, I do actually take it seriously. I schedule in my downtime into my week. And I am not someone that's into hustle culture and go, 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 go. Like I need my time off to be nourishing. And I think what I've learned over the years is like just kind of sitting at home and watching TV for hours. Like that's not really going to nourish you. I need my downtime to really help take the edge off, basically. So I work actively to rest better, which I know sounds like a little bit, but, I'll schedule like a yoga class, or I will put time in my calendar to go for a walk in the forest with my dog. And I'll actually put effort into my rest so that I can get more out of it than just like zoning out. And I think for me, I hadn't really seen a lot of brands out there that were kind of like talking about the importance of rest and taking time for yourself. And I love bathing. I love body care. I've worked in beauty for the past 15 years. So I just kind of put all of these ideas together. Obviously, it took a long time. It took over like 2 or 3 years to kind of really finesse the brand and the brand ethos and the strategy. But yeah, I think we got there. I'm so proud of my little brand.
It's so refreshing to hear, particularly from a woman who's successful, that you do not subscribe to this hustle culture, because I admittedly was that woman.
Same. And I've done it.
I did it for so many years and I was so burnt out and I was broken and I just felt like there has to be a better way. And even this year, interestingly, I feel like I'm doing much better work and it's much more fruitful.
Yeah.
But I'm doing much less.
Yes.
It's so interesting how that works.
It's so true. And okay, I kind of spoke about it on like a week level or a month level, but even within your day, it's like about stripping the guilt away. For instance, I used to work straight through my lunch hour. Okay. I never really had like a lunch hour, but I would work straight through my lunch. Now I go for a walk and I don't sit at my desk and type while I eat my lunch. I take the hour, and it's also about removing the guilt from that. Because if you're kind of going for a walk and thinking, oh my God, I should be working right now, or you're checking your phone the whole time, that doesn't work either. It is a practice. Like it honestly is a practice to switch off. And I can't be switching off all the time. I'm like running 2 companies here. But to be able to do it like for an hour here or 30 minutes there throughout my day is just, it truly makes me work better. So I think it's about working smarter, not harder.
This is like my obsession now is work smart, not hard.
Yeah.
But it's not to say that you don't work hard, because I know you and I know how hard you work. And like this candle, for example, Sun Through Trees.
This candle.
I'm imagining that you were inspired on a walk with your dog.
Yes, exactly.
By the name, but it just is so beautiful and it smells so amazing. But you had a lot of trouble bringing it to market.
That candle almost killed your favorite entrepreneur. It was just, I can't even tell you how stressful it was. I think obviously this is my first time with a brand that has products, okay? And I have retailers and I have my own D2C and I have 2 warehouses. Okay, managing all of that from an operational point of view, people go to school to learn how to do that. I've never done that. When you think about launching a candle, it's not just like let me just bring out a candle. It takes years sometimes to get the formula correct and the testing and then the packaging, and there's always so many delays. And I think that was definitely the case with this candle. There were just a lot of unforeseen delays, which then impacted the launch. So we ended up launching the candle in December, but obviously I was hoping to launch the candle in September. So when you're launching something 2 months late, and this is like the crucial point usually for most companies is like kind of September, October, November, December sales. We missed out on all of those sales opportunities. That it then impacts, how we did for the year, and that impacts everything. So it might just look like a candle to everyone looking, and I still enjoy the candle so much. But when I see that candle, I think of, wow, that was a really stressful time bringing that candle to market. But I actually still burn it in my house and I love it so much. And I feel like I'm kind of reaping the rewards from all that stress now.
But that realness is what's so appreciated about you. And I think it's why your blogging career in particular has been so successful, because so often, I interview all these amazing women and it all looks so glossy and it's so, perfect from the lens, particularly of social media. But the reality is behind the scenes is everyone's working really, really, really hard.
Yeah.
And it also takes a lot of work to create a glossy or not glossy.
Yeah, that's probably it. I don't have the energy to pretend like everything's fine.
No, but it's so refreshing and it's so authentic, which is, I hope anyway, the shift in the movement that's coming is people just want to know what's really going on.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying now, last year maybe looked glossy for me, but it was so hard.
I think there's obviously,
how do you present it in the right way?
There's a balance to it, right? Because if I was just constantly talking about all the drama, that's not enjoyable either. Mm-hmm. And people are coming to my brand for relaxation ultimately. Yes, they probably want to know some of the behind the scenes, but they don't need to know all the drama. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how I approach my personal content as well. It's I don't want my YouTube channel and my Instagram to turn into my venting zone. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it does kind of go that way and people are like, you're so negative. I was like, oh my God. Because sometimes life is just intense. But I think there is a balance and you almost have to think intuitively about that at the time. And also, for instance, using the candle as an example, when all of that was happening, I didn't know the outcome of that. I didn't know we were going to be able to launch that candle in December. So if I was going to start sharing the drama from September, by the time I do eventually launch the candle, nobody's even going to care about the candle anymore. So you do have to kind of think about it from a strategy level too. It is quite complex.
That was going to be my next question to you is I find it much easier retrospectively to talk about how hard it was. Whereas in the moment last year, I was so busy trying to keep everything together. There's no way I could have opened the floodgates to being super honest and open about it.
Exactly.
Whereas now I can say last year was quite difficult.
Yeah.
And I've made changes and these are the changes I've made to make it better.
Yeah.
Is that how you kind of manage it?
Completely. When you're in something, you're vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really hard to be that vulnerable online, especially about a business. But even, with my personal life, when I was going through, a breakup or something, breakups don't just happen overnight. They're months and months and months. And no, I'm not going to share that online with my audience so that they can see that with me. It's
because you also don't know what the outcome
I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. So I think it's all about you can share maybe that you're going through a hard time, but then they're like, well, we need details. So it's really hard. I think sharing afterwards is kind of better. And you can also look at it from a different point of view.
How do you feel now about having been so open over the years with your life?
I don't know any other way because I have always kind of shared everything. It's so second nature to me. I definitely share less than I used to. When I was 19 and 20 and vlogging, I didn't understand the concept of boundaries, and now I definitely do. But it's hard because my audience and my community has truly grown up with me, and I want to share these things. I low-key want to get on my camera you guys are never going to believe the date I went on last night. But, it's other people are involved. I can't say that.
I wish you would.
I wish I could share more because my life is
Maybe you could have
crazy.
a paid channel.
I know. An OnlyFans, but just for the tea.
Just for the dating, basically.
Yeah.
No, it's very inspirational that you've shared so much along the way. I could not do it. And so I just really admire you because people are so invested.
They are. I actually find it kind of healing in many ways, to share it, because I think so many people that watch me, they know me sometimes better than I know myself. So when they say something, I'm like, damn, that actually is true.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's any differentiation between online you and real world you?
I'm just a little bit more probably dialed back online, if you can believe it.
Oh, really?
In person, I am just, I just yap. But I'm pretty similar. Yeah, I would say.
Yeah,
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, the first time I met you, I was like, wow, I feel like I know you and I've known you for my whole life. Because you're just and then this happened and that happened. And there's no filter.
No, there's no filter. I don't know how else to be. And my family is really like that. My mom is really like that. My brother's really like that. I don't know how to hold things back. And sometimes I'll go to an event or something and I'll leave and I'll think, God, did I really need to tell them all of that? Probably not, but I don't care. Like, this is who I am. If I can't be me, who can I be?
I think it makes you so lovable.
Yeah.
You're so open.
People have called me the neurotic sweetheart.
I love that.
Yeah.
On another topic that you've been very open about and you've been such an advocate for is your experience with anxiety and depression, which has helped so many women. And thank you so much for being part of the vocal conversation around it, because we are the new generation where people are open and vulnerable about their experiences, which impacts positive change.
It does. When I was growing up, my first sort of panic attack, I think I was probably like 12 or something like that. No one knew what that was. My own mother didn't even know what that was. And I said, so like, I think I have anxiety. And she'd be like, well, where did you hear that word? You know, like it was not talked about. And obviously we've since discussed this and she's apologized and we understand each other now, but it just wasn't a topic of conversation. And I think a lot of times people thought maybe I was being dramatic or I just like wanted attention or something like that. But genuinely, like I had quite severe social anxiety as a teenager. And then since then I've had just regular anxiety, and I still have social anxiety and depression I've had since a young age. Like I remember being 6 or 7 and just feeling really low. And that's just like who I am. And I think when I started making YouTube videos, people were not talking about it at all, like truly not at all. But I felt similar to how I am now. Like I had to talk about it. I had no one else to talk about it with. Like if I can't be my full self and show up as who I am, you know, there's just no point to me. And actually I get acupuncture done, and something to do with like my element is that I look for the quality in things. And I feel like if I can't be myself and like my full quality, then it doesn't land. And I feel like I'm like losing energy from it. So I just always spoke about it. And I think moving to London at such a young age, I was 19, I was really going through it. And I think turning to the internet and being able to share all of that helped me so much, and it really helped grow my confidence. And then me personally finding out that other people were experiencing this, I was like, okay, so I'm not alone in this, because this is like before the days of Instagram, people. Like no one was talking about it.
What are some of the coping mechanisms that you've learned along the way that have helped you? Other than the art of rest, of course.
The art of rest. Breathing. I'm always sighing. I'm always breathing. I'm always deep breathing. I think drinking is bad for me.
It's bad for everyone.
But I do love a glass of wine or two.
Me too.
But, you know, it tips over the edge when you start to have 3. And for me, 3 glasses of wine is like a recipe for disaster. Drinking is so bad for me. So I think I better slow. I don't drink a lot, but I think it's time to probably cut that down in a serious way. I love waking up early. I love giving myself time in the morning. I love all that decompression time. I think also I say no to a lot of things. Like I find being out in the world and being social really exhausting. And today I have a meeting, and I have a meeting after that, and I have a call when I get home. I am going to be exhausted, like energetically. And so I think then I'll just like go home and do nothing. I'll just like have quality time with my dog, or like clean my flat and just recalibrate. I put a lot of time in my calendar to recalibrate. That helps me a lot. Obviously therapy, you know, all that stuff.
We won't go into the sex therapy, but
the sex therapy, yeah, I've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt.
Highly recommend.
Highly recommend.
So let's go more into the specifics of like how you have built your career and how you run your life now. Because as you said, well, you're kind of running 3 businesses, not even just 2, with Daisy Jewelry as well.
Yeah, I mean, Daisy kind of
is
runs
a project,
itself.
Let's say,
yeah.
But you're running 2 big businesses, but you also prioritize the art of rest, as we've said. So like, what does an average week look like for you? And like, what are some of the tips and tricks you've learned along the way that you can share with the listener about how to maintain that balance mentally and energetically, but also build thriving, successful businesses?
Well, first of all, I just want to start by saying I live alone with my dog. That brings me a lot of inner peace. Okay. And I know people watching, y'all have husbands, boyfriends, girlfriends, kids. I don't have that. So that's already like 20 plus aura points for me. Okay.
It also creates a lot of time and space.
Yes. And I really love living alone. I love
miss
it.
it.
I'm sorry.
I hope my husband's not listening.
I think everyone
I loved living alone.
likes living alone.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true. Some people are scared to live alone, but I love it. So I have a lot of time and space. So because I'm kind of running 2 things, I have what I call Estée Lalonde, which is like my content creation and any sort of like consulting work that I do, like any of that stuff I put under EL. That's what I call it in my head, EL. And I work on EL on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Oh, wow. It's that structured.
I try. Obviously, it does bleed into each other.
Okay.
And then I work on Mirror Water Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Amazing.
But that's not true. I work on Mirror Water every day. But that's like the broad idea, okay? So it's like Tuesdays, I definitely don't work on anything EL, and Thursdays, I do not work on anything EL. But really, Mirror Water takes up, I would say, like 90% of my time. And then I don't know how EL also takes up like another 50% of my time. We're over the 100%. You know, it's like constantly doing a million things. But I try to set up my days that way. Sundays, I take completely to myself. I don't see anybody. If I've had a boy over on Saturday night, they're out by lunchtime on Sunday. Goodbye. Sunday is for me.
That's your time.
That is my time. I do yoga, whatever I want to do. Sometimes I do a little work, and I do a lot of prep for the week on Sunday. Monday, emails day. If you want a response from me, you better come to me on a Monday, because after Monday, you're waiting till next Monday. But yeah, so that's kind of like a general, you know, schedule for me. I also maybe will go out once a week in the week for an event for dinner. And then, you know, Saturday is kind of like a fun social day for me. Amazing. I like my structure.
Yeah, that sounds very structured.
Yeah.
You've also been quite vocal about how you worked alone for so many years, but now you've started to build a team.
Yes.
How have you found that? Such
so
a transition, no?
Different and challenging. In a way, like, I don't have kids, but I feel like it's kind of like that because I'm always thinking about, oh, what are these girls up to today? And do they need anything from me? And how can I support them best? But also I'm like running on empty myself. I think learning how to manage a team and lead a team, I wish there was like a course in that, because I would be taking it. But I have been mentioning recently there's these things called PIP decks. Have you been?
No, I've not heard of that.
They're online. They're online. How old am I?
Everything's online.
I keep getting served the ads, and they're like decks of cards, but they've been created in collaboration with like experts, basically. And there's one about like how to lead. You know, is there one on how to lead? But there's like team decks and stuff like that. So I look at things like that.
We should do it together.
We should do it together. I need the course. But I think it's a lot. I think leading and managing a team is a full-time job in itself. And that's why, you know, I have a friend who works at Merit, the beauty brand, and she has like a team of like 8 or 10 people, and she has to do her job. That is crazy to me. I don't know how people do that.
That's the one thing I would say is like, I appreciate working from home some days, because when I'm alone,
yes,
there's less interaction, which is great, because then I can like dive into real tasks.
Yes.
Otherwise, like to your point around emails, I feel like you can end up spending your whole week just like answering questions and sending emails
and getting
like
nothing done,
getting nowhere.
I know it's really hard, but then also you have to reply to those emails. I think also time blocking. Okay, I'm not a master at it yet, but if I have like an afternoon in my calendar, I will say to myself, okay, Estee, an hour is going to go to NPD, new product development, you know, or like an hour is going to go towards your accounting stuff. And it's kind of like, you know, we all know Marie Kondo, throwback to Marie Kondo. What's she up to?
I wonder what
she's still doing her thing.
But I have to say that's part of the reason why I feel so good this year, is because when I came back from our Christmas break, I did such a cleanse of the house. I sold half of the clothes I own. Like, I organized like my underwear and sock drawer. Like, I organized my like jewelry, everything. And every single day feels lighter. It feels clearer. Like, even my bedside table is now like super clean and light, right? Like, with only just the book I'm actually reading. You know, and like one body cream, like that's it. And so I go to bed feeling really together, and I wake up feeling really clear.
Yes.
And then that allows space to like, okay, now I'm going to meditate and do all the things. Whereas last year, I think part of the overwhelm was like, we'd moved into the house, everything was everywhere. Like, so you already feel chaotic in your space. Like, the energy clearing of the space around you, I think, is so important.
And I think people don't appreciate that sometimes. Like, I'm constantly getting rid of things and cleaning because my mom like instilled that in me, but there's always more to be done. And let's be clear, and that's what I usually do on a Sunday. There's always more to organize, but it does help your psyche so much. And that feeling of being lighter, like, it's so true. And I kind of, how I got on the Marie Kondo thing was, I take that same approach to like my inbox. So, Marie Kondo is always like, if you're going to organize your sweaters, take out every single sweater you own and put it on the bed or whatever and look at it all as one. Don't like organize your sweaters in this closet and then organize your sweaters in that drawer. Organize them all as one thing. And I do that with emails. So it's like, okay, accounting. These are all the accounting things I need to do today. Let's go. Mm-hmm. Because otherwise it's like too much chaos.
To your point on time blocking, how I do it is I literally put in my calendar, like finance emails for 1 hour at 10 a.m. on Tuesday.
Oh my God.
And I like have to do it.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
Yeah.
Do you use any apps or anything?
I probably should.
Well, now there's so many apps coming through, AI apps that have come through.
AI.
Have you heard about Motion?
Yes.
Where they
what
like
is it?
So basically like you put in all the tasks you need to do
Yeah.
and like the order of priority, and then it does that. It like maps your week and finds time for you to do all the things that you need to do in priority. And then if you miss it, it then like reshuffles everything to like in order of priority. So like say you miss those accounting emails and they're due, tax is due or whatever, it will then move Tuesday's tasks to Wednesday so that on Tuesday you then find a new window to do it. Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy and I love the concept, but I am such a control freak.
Me too. Some AI bot organizing it for me feels really weird, but maybe that's just me showing my age.
Same, and I want to do it more, and I'm really leaning into ChatGPT, and
me too. It's incredible.
It's really amazing.
And scary.
It's scary. It's very scary, but I am trying to use it to my benefit. It really is a time saver, and I'm not the most professional person out there. I've never worked a corporate job, so sometimes I'll just put my emails in and I'll say, "Can you make this sound more professional?" And it does it. And I come across looking like a boss.
You are a boss.
Well, you read some of my emails before I put them through ChatGPT.
So what I want to do in heading towards close, sadly, is just go back to realness. Because it's quite scary for like the normal person to be as vulnerable and open and as authentic as you are, I have to say. Do you have any advice for me and the listener about how we can be more real?
I don't know if it's just who I am or what, but I don't find it challenging. It's
like
not
intrinsic to you.
I don't get nervous about showing up as who I am, but like I see so many of my friends, for instance, like when they're dating and they say like, what do I say? How do I say it? I'm like, it blows my mind. It's like, just say what you think. What do you feel? I do think it comes down to like a lot of self-work and like being comfortable with yourself and being okay with the fact that if I say something, outlandish or something like that and someone's like, oh, she's a bit weird, I'm okay with that. I'm like, okay, well.
Because you don't care what anyone thinks.
I don't care. I mean, obviously everyone wants to be liked. And I think there's like levels and you have to like maybe rein it in sometimes and sometimes not. But, I need to probably learn how to be less myself.
Don't. No, don't. I love it. It's just like, I wish we all have like unique gifts and we're all here to offer something.
Yeah.
We all need to lean more into what that is.
Yeah. I mean, I was on a call even yesterday because we're lunching with a retailer and we're trying to organize this like table and all this stuff. And like, this is how I'm talking on the call. I was like, I don't know, we got to do this table. And like, I don't know what we're going to do. And I don't have a lot of money, to be honest with you. And like, what do you think? And this is how I'm talking. The guy just starts laughing at me. He's like, okay.
It's so refreshing. Like no one, even for me in like the scariest boardrooms I've been in my career, the more real you are and authentic, like when I've talked about this before, but like when I put my hand up in this boardroom full of men and I was like, I have to say I don't know what that means. And then a few of them were like, oh, thank God, neither did we. You know, like older, more successful seemingly men. And I think just being you pays major dividends, but it is really hard to lean into at times.
Actually, one unlock for me was I had a big kind of chip on my shoulder about feeling stupid. I never wanted to feel dumb. I never wanted to feel like I didn't know something that other people knew. And actually, since I acknowledge the fact that that is going to happen all the time, I have been asking those questions and just being okay with it's like, okay, I don't know the answer. Can someone teach me? First of all, it's helped me learn. And second of all, it's helped me be less hard on myself. So I actually just like own it. And I'm like, look, I don't know everything about all this. So can you guys show me?
But we're all just learning along the way.
We are. And that's the thing. But I think there's this glossy, polished situation we have going on where everybody is kind of giving off this perfection and everybody is like, on the path to success all the time. But it's like, I don't have a clue.
Yeah, that's like for me, this whole CEO yourself business and the concept and the pursuit and the mission is for me fundamentally to learn along the way.
You must be learning so much.
I'm learning so much about how to do and be the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
And I just get to share it, which is so cool. But we definitely don't have the answers for those listening.
No.
Not even close. So what's happening for the brand? Like what can we look forward to this year from you other than watching your travels along the way?
Yes. Well, oh gosh, I'm not sure. I think a couple of exciting retailer launches will be great. I'm hoping to spend a bit more time in the US because we have most of our customers are actually based in the US.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I need to get out there to all the American people. I actually think I might be going to Australia.
Oh. Stop.
Potentially, because our brand is stocked in Dish in Australia.
Way.
Yeah,
that's
so
amazing.
I need to get over
for
there
our
to the
Aussie
Dish stores.
listeners.
Yes, exactly.
She's coming.
Australia is an amazing place.
That is so cool. You have to tell me when it's booked and planned and everything, and we can promote it. For you.
Okay. I'm thinking September, so we'll see.
Amazing.
Yeah,
well, maybe I can come with you.
Yeah, please, a local.
And finally, where can the listener find you?
They can find me on Instagram at Estée Lalonde. I'm on YouTube. I'm all over the place. If you can find me, let me know. I'm looking for her.
And Mirror Water?
We're available in the UK at Space NK, Liberty. You can see our stockist page. Go to our website at mirrorwater.earth.
And finally, the Daisy collection.
Yes, daisyjewelry.com. But search for my collection. You've got to search my name, Estée Lalonde.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
That's
for being
selfish
here.
of me, but
no. It's all about you
mine.
today. Thank you so much for being here again. And as I said, you are such a breath of fresh air and your realness is just like resonates with me so much because I hope from this episode people take away just to like lean into who they are a little more.
Yeah. Well, you're easy to talk to. Thank you for having me again. Round 2.
Fingers crossed it works this time.
Yeah, please.
Thank you so much for taking the time to listen today. Giving us a moment of your time to like, rate, or follow CEO Yourself will make a huge difference to our future.